and it's telling you that you are about to reach a point where you no longer will be able to be like this. He likes to make people feel special.
Because they are special.
But then you'll realize one day that you have to make your own donuts. So, how special can you be?
Two finger whiffs.
Don't interrupt me again when I'm trying to get in the zone. Hey everybody, welcome into Folklore and Flourish. You're here with Jane and Mark. We are here with Blue Box 29. Today is January 27th. We are actually doing this for the second time. We had some technical difficulties, so if you see us a little bit exhausted, that's why, but you'll probably get a shorter episode today because of that. So you're welcome. Anyways, today is January 27th, so we're in the month between worlds. The Seeker has crossed the veil, and they are now returning home in week 4. 5 more days of January with today, and then we are done, so we have 5 more days of the return. Today is the mirror, and our theme is self-recognition. So for the Seeker crossing the veil and coming back home, we are focused on the mirror today, self-recognition. Our 4 stories are from Greek, German, Aztec, and Japanese folklore. So we'll see you after these 4 stories. Before we begin, I want to take a moment to honor the cultures behind the stories we are about to explore. The tales shared here come from many peoples, lands, and traditions. I do not change these stories to fit modern expectations or to align with today's social standards. Instead, I present them as they were told, sometimes beautiful, sometimes harsh, sometimes challenging. We are not here to judge the past, but to understand it, to listen, to learn, and to honor the ancestors who carried these stories forward. We also share stories from various religious traditions. These are presented in their historical and spiritual context, with respect for their beliefs that they represent. Every culture deserves respect, context, and acknowledgement, and this space is dedicated to doing exactly that. Story 1. Narcissus in the Face That Looked Back. In Greek tradition, self-recognition is not the same as self-knowledge. Sometimes the mirror deceives. Narcissus was born of mixed fate. He was the son of the river god Cephissus and the nymph Liriope, marked from birth by beauty that unsettled those who looked upon him. When Liriope asked the seer Tiresias what future awaited her child, the answer was conditional and ominous. He will live a long life, Tiresias said, if he never knows himself. The warning was not explained. In Greek myths, such warnings rarely are. As Narcissus grew, his beauty became unmistakable. Men and women alike were drawn to him. Nymphs followed his path through the woods. Voices called to him from behind trees and across water. Narcissus responded to none of them. He did not mock openly. He simply withheld himself, incapable of seeing others as real when compared to his own presence. Among those who loved him was the nymph Echo. Echo had once been a speaker of stories, quick with words, full of conversation, but she had been cursed by Hera for distraction and deceit. From then on, Echo could no longer initiate speech. She could only repeat the last words spoken to her. When Echo saw Narcissus, she followed him silently. When he called out, "Is anyone here?" she answered, "Here." When he asked, "Come to me," she echoed, "To me." But when she stepped forward to embrace him, Narcissus recoiled. "Hands off," he said. "I would die before I give myself to you." Echo withdrew, humiliated and heartbroken. She faded away until only her voice remained, repeating the words of others without a body to anchor them. Her loss did not touch Narcissus. He continued unchanged. The gods did notice. Nemesis, goddess of retribution and balance, heard the prayers of those who had been scorned. She did not punish Narcissus with ugliness or pain. She led him to a pool of clear, still water hidden in the forest. There, Narcissus knelt to drink. For the first time, he saw a face that held him completely. The image in the water met his gaze without demand. It mirrored his movement. It never contradicted him. It seemed perfect. Narcissus fell in love. He did not understand what he was seeing. He spoke to the reflection as though it were another being. He reached for it and watched it shatter. He waited for it to return. He could not pull himself away. Gradually, recognition crept in. He realized the truth too late. The face was his own. And now that he knew himself, the condition of his life was broken. Unable to possess the image, unable to release it, Narcissus remained by the pool until his body weakened and failed. In some tellings he wasted away. In others he took his own life. Where he died, a flower grew, white and bowed, its face turned toward the water. The Narcissus flower does not look outward. It bends inward. Greek myth does not portray Narcissus as merely vain. His tragedy is not self-love alone, but self-absorption, mistaken for understanding. He saw himself clearly, but he did not know himself truly. The mirror showed surface without depth, image without relation. Self-recognition without humility became his end. The story warns that to see oneself is not enough. One must be able to look away. Story 2. The doppelganger who walks ahead. In German tradition, the self does not always appear as reflection. Sometimes it appears as warning. The doppelganger is not a ghost in the ordinary sense. It is not the soul of the dead, nor a creature summoned by magic. It is a double, a second self that walks the world bearing your face, your form, and your presence, but not your permission. To see one's doppelganger is considered a grave event. In early German folklore, the doppelganger appears rarely and never by accident. It is not visible to crowds. It is seen by the individual alone, or by those whose fate is tightly bound to them. The devil does not speak often. When it does, its words are sparse and unsettling. Most often, it is silent. The doppelganger is not a reflection in glass or water. It exists independently. It walks ahead of the person it mirrors, appearing in places the individual has not yet reached. It may be standing at the edge of a road, seated in a familiar chair, or entering a house before the true person arrives. Those who see their own double describe a profound disorientation. The body reacts before the mind. Breath shortens. Time feels thin. The certainty of being singular fractures. To look upon one's own face, worn by another presence, is to realize that identity may not be as contained as believed. In many accounts, the doppelganger does not interact. It does not threaten. It does not attack. It simply exists. And that is enough. The appearance of the doppelganger is often interpreted as an omen of death, illness, or irreversible change. In some regions, it is believed that to speak to one's double is to hasten the end. In others, merely acknowledging it is considered dangerous. Silence becomes instinctive. Yet not all traditions treat the doppelganger as malevolent. Some view it as a manifestation of divided selfhood, a version of the person shaped by choices not taken, truths avoided, or identities suppressed. The double appears when the distance between who one is and who one lives as becomes too wide to hold. In these tellings, the doppelganger is not a harbinger of physical death, but of psychic rupture. It signals that something must be integrated or lost. There are stories of travelers who see their double walking confidently into a future they themselves fear. Others report seeing their doppelganger behaving cruelly, arrogantly, or recklessly, embodying traits they refuse to acknowledge in themselves. The devil does not explain itself. it reveals. To encounter a doppelganger is to be confronted with the possibility that the self is not unified. German folklore does not offer redemption rituals for this meeting. There is no chant to banish the double, no mirror to shatter. The response is internal. One must reconcile the split or accept the consequences of remaining divided. The doppelganger walks until it is either integrated or overtaken. It does not wait forever. A mirror, in this tradition, is not glass. It is the future stepping forward to ask whether you recognize what you are becoming. Story 3, The Twin Suns in the Shattered Sky. In Aztec tradition, the self is never singular. It is doubled, tested, and replaced. The Aztecs understood the cosmos as a series of worlds, each born, sustained, and destroyed in turn. These ages were called suns, and each sun ended when balance failed. Creation in this worldview was not permanent, it was conditional. Before the current world existed, there were other suns. In one telling preserved through Nahua cosmology, the gods gathered at Teotihuacan, the place where the gods were made, to decide who would become the sun of the new age. Two figures stepped forward. Tequistecatl, wealthy, proud, adorned in finery, and Nana Watsin, poor, scarred, and covered in sores. Both were candidates. Both were mirrors of possibility. Tequistecatl embodied confidence, privilege, and expectation. Nana Watsin embodied humility, endurance, and willingness to suffer. The gods prepared a great fire into which the chosen would leap, transforming into the sun that would carry light across the world. When the moment came, Tequistecatl hesitated. 4 times he approached the fire. 4 times he stepped back. Nana Watsin did not pause. He closed his eyes and leapt. Ashen flame consumed him and the sky waited. Shamed, Tequistecatl followed, throwing himself into the fire after the first had already gone. The gods watched as 2 lights began to rise. There was now 2 suns. The world could not bear it. The sky burned too brightly. The earth trembled under the weight of doubled fire. Creation itself recoiled. The gods understood immediately. Reflection without distinction destroys balance. 2 identical powers cannot occupy the same role. To correct this, the gods acted. They struck Tequistecatl with a rabbit, dimming his light and casting him into reflection. He did not disappear, but became the moon, a lesser light that mirrors rather than rules the sky. The mark of the rabbit remains visible on the moon's surface in Mesoamerican imagination. Nana Watsin becomes the true sun, but even this was not enough. The sun did not move. The gods realized that creation required sacrifice beyond selection. To set the sun in motion, they gave their own lives. Blood fed movement. Death sustained life. The mirror was resolved only through offering. Aztec myth does not frame this story as moral punishment. It is cosmic necessity. The twin moment reveals that not all selves can occupy the same destiny. Reflection must yield to differentiations. One path advances, the other transforms. The moon remains not as failure, but as reminder. Identity in this tradition is forged by action at the moment of truth. Hesitation creates reflection. Commitment creates movement. The mirror does not disappear. It takes its proper place. Story 4, Yama's mirror in the face that cannot be hidden. In Japanese tradition, the mirror does not flatter. It reveals. In Buddhist-influenced Japanese folklore, Yama is the Lord of Judgment, the one who weighs lives after death. He is not a creator of punishment. He is an examiner. His realm is not chaos, but order stripped of illusion. Before him, excuses dissolve. When the dead are brought before Yama, they are not immediately sentenced. First, they are shown the mirror. This mirror is known by many names across traditions, but its function remains the same. It does not show the face as it appeared in life. It shows the face shaped by action. Every intention, every decision, every harm ignored or caused is reflected without commentary. The mirror cannot be argued with. Those who stand before it often react with shock. Some deny what they see, others plead misunderstanding, some weep. A few remain silent, recognizing themselves fully for the first time. Yama does not interrupt. The mirror speaks without words. In some tellings, the mirror reveals scenes rather than images. Moments long forgotten appear intact. A cruelty dismissed as minor, a kindness withheld, a choice made for comfort rather than integrity. Nothing is exaggerated, nothing is softened. This is the mirror's severity. It shows only what occurred. Japanese folklore emphasizes that the terror of judgment does not come from punishment, but from recognition. The dead confront themselves without the protections of social role, reputation, or self-justification. Titles fall away, intentions stand exposed beside consequence. Yama's role is not to shame, it is to confirm. After the mirror's revelation, judgment proceeds naturally. There is no dramatic sentence pronounced. The soul's path aligns with what has already been shown. Heaven, hell, or rebirth is not imposed from outside. It is the extension of one's lived pattern. In some folk traditions, mirrors are covered in houses of mourning. This is not superstition. It reflects the belief that mirrors are thresholds. They hold memory. They reveal more than surface. To encounter reflection too soon after death risks confusion between worlds. The mirror of Yama teaches that self-recognition delayed becomes unavoidable later. What is not faced in life will be faced in full clarity after it. Japanese mirror myths do not ask for perfection. They ask for honesty, to live in a way that can be met again without turning away.
Hey everybody, welcome back into Folklore and Flourish. So the scope and the lens that we are looking through our stories today from is the mirror and self-recognition. So we're going to jump right into the daily thread. So across these myths, the mirror is never kind, but it is precise. Narcissus mistakes reflection for understanding. The doppelgänger walks ahead as a warning of division. The Aztec twin suns show that reflection without distinction burns the world. Yama's mirror strips away every defense until only truth remains. Each story teaches that seeing oneself is unavoidable. What matters is whether recognition leads to integration or collapse. Right in it, Narcissus. That's where we get the narcissism from. The idea of being a narcissist. So self-absorbed that he just dwindled away there.
Right.
Like nothing could compare to what he looked like.
Mm-hmm.
And because that's all that ever mattered for him, that's all that ever mattered to him, I think. So
What I thought was crazy too is, and I know last time we recorded this, I didn't bring this part up, but the fact that Echo, she already was echoing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she was still in physical form.
Yes.
But then as soon as he was like, ugh, then she
just
no longer
dwindled away into a voice.
That was
To
it.
an
Just
echo.
because of him. Would that have been anybody?
Well, she's a nymph, so there was also that, and she was already cursed to only utter those final words, so it was probably just the last.
Right, little hoorah.
Yeah. So his was just, he did not see a single flaw. He didn't need anything else. He had no humility at all, but was very quick to believe everyone lesser.
Right.
And so that one was very much, he needed to look at himself and see, here you are as a reflection, but that's pretty shallow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he literally didn't even go beyond the surface. That's how shallow he was.
Right.
That one is all about the danger of mistaking your reflection for your identity. So there is that huge fear that especially with social media being such a big thing
Mm-hmm.
and likes mattering so heavily in a lot of places, especially when you're a kid, it's hard,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because it's easy to say, don't worry about it, it gets better. Like, people won't care what you look like, but that doesn't help when you're in that spot.
Right. I saw a thing actually to do with that you brought kids up into it, which is perfect. So, if you're a parent and you have a child, try to do this. It helps tremendously with their self confidence. Instead of when your kid brings home like a painting and it says, "Here you go, mom or dad," right? Or sister or grandma, whatever you are to that person. And that child brings something home to you and they're excited about it, right? And they show it to you. Instead of getting super excited about it and be like, "I'm proud of you, good job, that looks awesome," ask the child what they think about what they did. And it could be anything, not just the painting, but anything. Like whether they rode a bike for the first time or they were able to go on the swing for the first time and do it themselves. Anything that they do by themselves that typically you would give them praise for, have them give themselves praise, ask them how they felt about it, what that made them feel about themselves. And then afterwards, give them praise, but praise for them the way they felt about themselves in that moment. Not so much what they did, but for what they did for themselves. Mm-hmm.
That whole idea of how do you feel about your work, your accomplishments.
Right.
And then praising them, because it is more important that we see ourselves.
And that's the biggest part. That's the biggest part of it. It teaches them
to not rely on your praise.
Exactly. So instead of worrying about everybody else to make sure that they're doing it, it's going to build their self-confidence. They'll be able to take that constructive criticism. So then their skill is going to increase even more, just because then they're getting that positive feedback from themselves. Because then they can look at it and be like, "Oh man, I did good, but maybe next time I can try this." And then they're excited about their things they need to work on. I love that aspect.
The final thing with that too, and with Narcissus, is that self-recognition becomes destructive when it isolates you rather than connecting you to others. Mm-hmm. So when you have no humility, you have no self-pride, you have no sense of what I want and how it makes me feel, it really does isolate you because you have a hard time connecting to others. Yeah. You have nothing to connect with. If you see yourself as better than them, you can't connect to them.
You don't even see their worthiness of being around you. So like anything they say, whether it be good or bad or indifferent, it's not going to mean anything to you. So if they give you any sort of constructive criticism or negative criticism, it's not going to matter whether it would have helped you in the long run or not. And at that point, then I totally could see you being just lonely. That would be sad, for sure.
And that does isolate a lot of people in that aspect where they are alone. Like, I guess that's what it means to be isolated, but they don't mean to be.
Right.
And they feel like it's too late a lot of the time. The second one, I really like that it emphasizes that self-division is danger. That you're not being true to yourself and you're split. So instead of it being the doppelganger is like mischievous or being a trickster in your life, no, they're there because you're so close to it being either way. You are so uncertain. And I really liked that was shown as danger. Like, regardless of who is seeing the doppelganger, what cultures, everybody thought of it as it was a warning.
Yeah.
I need to assess myself because something's split. If I'm seeing myself, that's what it is too, is beyond just the folklore. If you're saying that you're hallucinating because your emotions are pushing you there, yeah, they are. But that's your subconscious projecting yourself and saying, look at how close you are. You're living two lives right now. And when you live two lives and you're not focused on one, that's when you start making those mistakes in the sense that you do something to put yourself in danger, put others in danger. So this one is saying it's not evil, it's just unresolved.
Yeah.
You're unresolved. And it's telling you that you are about to reach a point where you no longer will be able to be like this. You need to choose one path now. You need to identify yourself now.
Yeah, it's time.
You're running out of time.
Mm-hmm.
And you're about to reach a decision where...
Make it or break it. Like, this is one way or another,
I
this
think
or
that
that.
some doppelgangers are meant for that. Like, you need to make a decision now because something is coming where you will need to know how you feel before. You know, that's what I think. Some of them are bigger because they have to be big in certain ways. Some are controlled, though. Some are out of our control. And I think when it's in our control, they're more of a align yourself now before you're tested. Because if it's in your control,
right,
you know, you can go in a little bit more prepared.
Yeah.
Come out a little bit stronger even than you could have. When you do fail to see yourself, acknowledge yourself.
Right.
Align yourself. Okay, the third one. We've seen the third one several times before. Like you said, this one had more emphasis on the sun and the moon.
He became the moon, but he was the second sun at first.
Yeah, but he just needed to be moved to being assigned to his rightful place.
Right.
Not as bright, but that balance still being there. And this is emphasizing the differentiation through sacrifice. The third one, though, also shows us that when we attempt to reflect others, it takes away from the essence of who they are and who we are. So in this one, he jumped in after. He was reflecting his action. We're reflecting other people. We're copying them. We're doing what they do. It never truly means the same thing. The outcome is not the same. The feeling isn't the same as a person that jumps first.
Yeah, to only do because somebody else has done. It's not as great.
To never pave your own way or try your own stuff or take your own
I'm not
risks.
saying that the feat of whatever you did, like say you want to go climb a mountain and, you know, 100 other people have done it, but have you done it? And if you haven't, then do it. And that's great for you. Right? So that's not what we're saying. It's not that it's not less great, but it's if
that's not who he
someone,
was.
yeah,
He jumped in because
he just felt bad.
No.
Nah, I didn't even want to do this.
So
I only did it because I thought I had to.
It challenged who he was, or just wasn't with who he was.
Right, but it was a necessity that happened anyways.
Okay, the last one, Yama's Mirror, the Japanese one, with this one, it's saying that what you do not face in life, you will face after it. You will be forced to stand in front of your reflection and fully acknowledge yourself. That's what this one was. So this one wasn't for people who never looked away. This was for people who never fully analyzed themselves, who never truly looked in the mirror. But on top of it being about that, this mirror doesn't lie to you. It doesn't beat around the bush. It doesn't comfort you. It doesn't build you up. It strips all of your illusions away, even the ones you have of yourself. And says, no, this is what it means for you to look in the mirror. And this one is, this one's scary too, I think, because where the first one is, don't get too tangled up in your own reflection that you think that's all that matters. The second one is, don't get split from your identity and recognize when you're living two separate lives.
Right.
Oops, sorry. The third one was about sacrifice and not reflecting other people's actions all the time. But this one was, you're meeting your maker and you're being asked to stand in front of them completely vulnerable, completely yourself, and being asked, okay, who are you? Who are you to me? Who are you to everyone else? And that's why this one, it really stuck with me more. But this one was your reckoning through reflection. That's what this one was. And so the more you avoid it in life, the harder it will be beyond. That's that whole thing of when we talk about we came here for a reason. But if we avoid the things that we do, the havoc that we wreak, the choices that we make, if we just avoid it and think it won't matter, we will be faced with it. And these aren't things that like could have happened or other people made their choices. Like, this is us.
Right.
You know, this isn't, I hurt your feelings and you made a choice because of that. Like, no, that's still on you. But, so this one is that your judgment is not eternal damnation. It's just inevitable clarity. So it is inevitable that you will know yourself before you pass on to wherever.
Right.
Your next life, above, whatever it may be. So with these in mind and the reflection, and we could talk about the mirror for hours. Self-reflection, and the lesson is that we need to meet ourselves honestly. Meeting ourselves honestly sometimes means being the toughest critic in the room to ourselves. Sometimes the people that love us, our friends, our family, they sometimes advocate for our bad behavior. They can.
Definitely, they can enable it.
And we can do that to people too. So we have to meet ourselves and go, who am I as an individual, as a friend, as a family member, whatever it may be. But the mirror of Yama is not only what we just said a second ago of you will face it after, but nothing is exaggerated, nothing is softened. It is severe, but it only shows what occurred. It's showing who you are, who your reflection is based on your actions. You do not get to sugarcoat it. You do not get to charm or smile your way through it. This mirror shows who your reflection is based on your actions. So who your maker saw you as, who the earth saw you as, the energy that you were showcasing in your life, that's who's in front of the mirror. With the stories today, our reflection is, who do I see now without explanation or defense? So on our way back home, on the return, we're looking in the mirror. We're not afraid. We know we'll eventually look away, but we're not afraid of looking now. Who do we see now? No offense, no tearing yourself apart or even just trying to compliment yourself or anything. Just, who do I see now? So the way that we're going to do this, you're going to actually do your reflection with your task. You're going to sit with yourself and look at your reflection for 1 full minute. So you're just going to look at it for a full minute in silence. This is to just practice looking at yourself without judgment.
So not like smiling, nothing, just dead looking at it.
You can smile, you can feel, you're just quietly looking at your reflection. You're just embracing your reflection. You can embrace any aspect of it. Really, the stillness in it, the scars, the lines, the joy in it, whatever it may be. But you're just going to sit in it for 1 minute and just acknowledge it. Just, what's here? Who is this? So, and then we're going to remember that self-recognition becomes wisdom only when it is faced honestly. So we've talked about how the way you look is only one aspect of you.
Yeah,
today.
Like this isn't you.
No, but we're going to still acknowledge it.
100%, and you
today.
should.
Yeah. We're going to kind of recognize who we are today and stare at ourselves, and that's the most powerful part. Is that, yeah, we can look at our reflection, but when you actually have to sit with it
and look deep,
that's when you start to have those other things where you're like, oh, this is who I'm becoming. Look, I do look stronger. I do look more confident. I look happier. I look more independent. You start to see those things within yourself because you carry that with you.
Yeah.
So those are the things that we'll start to see when we aren't hiding from our reflection anymore.
I like that.
Yeah, and the big thing is too, if we don't like looking at ourselves, no one else will.
Yeah, why would anybody? You know, and not using it as in, why wouldn't anybody want to look at us because we feel like we're not attractive enough? It's more of, we're saying it, the what is on the inside type of part, right? Is what you're saying. It's
just that whole idea of we don't need to shy away from anyone, especially ourselves. Thanks for coming in, everyone.
What?
Thanks for coming in, everyone, today.
Thanks for coming in, everyone. Thank you.
No,
thank you.
No.
Just you. Not you. Yes, you.
He likes to make people feel special.
Because they are special.
But then you'll realize one day that you have to make your own donuts. So, how special can you be? Ta-ta for now, everyone! Thank you for walking this journey with me today. These stories are more than folklore. They are the heartbeat of our world building, the inspiration behind our characters, and the soul of the Legends Reborn Chronicles. By exploring these tales, we honor the past, ignite the present, and breathe life into the legends we're creating together. To see more of Mark and I, as well as additional scenes, discussions, and healing, check the links below that will lead you to our various social media platforms. Please also feel free to ask any questions or leave any comments in the episode below or in future episodes to come. We would love to hear from you. Until next time, may your path be guided by wonder, curiosity, and the magic of the stories that came before us. Blessings, and I'll see you on our next folklore journey.